Anyway, so again, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Again, you're at the Killer Be Killed podcast. Yeah, we jumped on a little early, and this is the most unlistened to podcast in the interwebs. So yeah, so we want to get into this. So I want to set this GSP thing up. If you don't know what GSP is, you're living under a rock. But George St-Pierre, phenomenal, one of the goats of MMA. Tough as nails. I mean, the guy's fantastic. I mean, forget about it. You can't even, he's up there with the greats. Like GSP in his prime, forget it, right? So he started putting out like self-defense videos. And I don't know what happens to guys when they start teaching self-defense. So, hey, John, thanks for joining us, brother. So I don't know what happens to like fighters when they start teaching self-defense, because it starts looking like all the other bullshit out there. It automatically falls into this pattern of crap.
Yeah.
And so let's just share this. And just 1 second, guys. All right. And if you think you're gonna get some like secret stuff. Okay, so let me just where's my share? Move my screen. Present the share screen. Here we go. Okay. Let me know. You can see it?
Yes.
We're good? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
What a self-defense move could be real fast. Imagine someone grab me 2-on-1 and he's much stronger than me. Kick, get outside the center line, go palm to palm, retract, elbow, groin, hit the back of the head while I'm moving outside the center line. Remember, in a street fight, there's no rules. And this is something that pretty much everyone can do. So someone grab me 2-on-1, kick, move outside the center line, palm to palm, retract, elbow, groin, hit the back of the head, and here I can do whatever I want. All right? If you want to dive more into this and learn more, check out the link.
Okay. So, first of all, he's George St-Pierre. He can do whatever the hell he wants. Anyway. So, forget about that. So, if for whatever reason someone is grabbing...
Wait, can we just, before you go there, can we just say, why is the first self-defense class grabbing the wrist?
Right.
What?
Well,
I mean,
right.
I love what you always say. Is there a wrist grabbing epidemic?
Yes.
Like, I can honestly say I have never had my wrist grabbed in any situation.
No. Like I've gone
through. My parents didn't grab my wrist. My dad would just grab me by the shoulder or something when I was a kid.
Nobody's grabbing two hands on there. The only time it would be conceivable is if you were holding a firearm or a weapon and it was in your hand and somehow somebody just felt like grabbing that weapon, or you're reaching for your holster, you're drawing your weapon from your holster, somebody grabbed it. And you have to understand how, what he's teaching and how this evolved. This all comes from, Judo Goshin Jitsu, which is from Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, which was very hand and sword centric.
Right. That's what I was just going to say. People grabbed the wrist because they were trying to stop you from drawing your sword or from swinging your sword.
Correct. So that would make sense. But in reality, why doesn't he just punch him in the fucking face and repeatedly punch him in the face and go about his business and save everybody the fucking hassle of doing everything else? You don't need to do this at all.
So the other thing too is he says, you're being grabbed by someone much stronger than you. Okay, if you're being grabbed by someone much stronger than you, they're not holding on. They're usually yanking you. Like
yanking
remember that video we showed
right?
like a couple months ago where it was like that fake kidnapping.
Yes.
And he pulled the kid and the kid went in the air,
Right.
That's what happens is they grab you and they pull you. So you're already off balance because you just got yanked.
Yes. Hey, Stefano, thanks for joining us again. So, we'll go through this. I'll just take off the volume because we don't need to hear him. Again, you're the whole premise of the wrist grab is insane. Okay, this, like to your point, I don't know who's grabbing you like this, and the fact is that he puts out his hand, he gives his arm to the fucking attacker.
Yeah, we talk about those training scars, right?
Right. Which is, you don't train like that, but every fucking, sorry, I got to stop saying the F word. Every freaking martial art on the planet does that. When you say attack, grab my wrist. And what does the defender do? He hands the wrist over to the attacker, which in reality, if the guy is going to be grabbing your wrist, it's going to, and you may, I don't know, react if like, what the hell are you doing? Like, pull your wrist away. But let's just say, again, let's accept this ridiculous attack. All right. So he's grabbing you both hands. Okay. He's extending his hand out, which again, when I see stuff like that, it just triggers me for like, this is standard, strip mall dojo bullshit, right? This is it.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like.
This is the point I wanted to make. You have GSP, a legend in the octagon.
Animal. He's a freaking animal.
When did he ever use this wrist?
He would never do this ever.
When did he ever use it? Ever?
Ever. Never.
He never did, right? And so this just goes to show that even somebody as experienced as GSP, who would probably in a real encounter just like punch the dude and roundhouse kick him to the face and be done.
Right. I mean, he's just going to come in with his other hand and just pull his head in.
Right. So why not teach that? Right. It goes back to this whole like, now I'm going to teach self-defense. So now I have to go back to what the expectation is. Like, I don't understand this.
Yeah. And this is what's wrong with it. And it's like guys like this, like, you're not reflecting on what really, your life and what works. I mean, granted, you could be like, oh, this is GSP. Look, training to hit somebody in the face repeatedly is a lot easier to do than remembering to shake your own hand and pull your hand out after you hand them your hand. So again,
yeah. So can we also point out again, the whole wrist grab is so bad, but if you I actually went to the website and he talks about how this is good for men, women, and children.
Well, he's trying to sell shit, right?
If a child is being grabbed by an adult, presumably a man, you can grab your own wrist and try and yank it out all you want. That is not probably going to come out.
No. And the other issue that I have is the opening technique. Okay. If you are getting grabbed, you are getting yanked and moved.
Again, right? You're getting yanked.
Guess what you can't do? You can't do. Meanwhile, the guy has both his hands on one hand and you have another hand and your head free.
Totally free.
You can be smashing him in the face, headbutting him, and running him the hell over, right? So, no, he does this typical. This is like the crap I learned in Taekwondo when I was 15, right? This is it. This isn't, George St-Pierre doing George St-Pierre. This is
the crap GSP learned when he was in Taekwondo when he was 15.
Yeah, probably, right.
And now he's like, oh, I'm going to teach self-defense. What do I do? Oh, yeah, self-defense. Not,
right.
Hey, I have, 20 years or 15 years fighting people. This is what this is what works.
Right. So now just a shin kick and getting off the center line. Again, we have no reaction from this guy. So we're already to this point, and this is, this is preposterous. Now you're just hitting people, right? So, I mean, from this point on, it doesn't matter. He's just hitting heavy.
From this point on, I like that he emphasizes continuing to circle and get off the line. Sure. It's better than most.
Right. I mean, we like to run people over.
But circling works too.
I'm not hating it, right? But it's like,
why? If he's so concerned about getting off the line, get off the line first. Don't
right.
Just
exactly.
Get off the line.
So like right here, when you're grabbed, right, you're getting pulled or you're getting headbutted if we're accepting this assault, right? Yeah. So we accept this. We can't do this. We can't do this kick. You're not lifting your leg up. You're not doing anything. And, and this is where it's like, you're getting pulled, it's like you got your other hand, you got your head, you got your shoulder, you have your whole upper body. And this guy basically has his hands down. So why wouldn't you just repeatedly smash him about the neck and head and call it a goddamn day?
I mean, GSP, the guy's wide open. Just throw a chin shot, man.
You know, if GSP got attacked, if someone was stupid enough to do this, he is not doing this.
No, he's not.
He's not remembering this, because guess what? If he's got a single wrist grab, he's gonna have another defense. If he's got another defense. He's gonna, and then he's gonna add up. This is like typical martial arts shit. And the problem is, people see him doing this, and they assume that then he legitimizes this crap.
Yeah.
And it's crap. People, don't do this. Don't waste your time with this. I mean, GSP is not even going to do this.
No, it would have been way better if he was like, somebody reaches down and grabs your wrist. Guess what? Their head's wide open. Wham.
Yeah. And you can get rid of all the other.
Get rid of all the other crap.
All the other crap. I'm like, holy crap, man. So, yeah, I mean, I saw this. I was like,
well, let's not even talk about, everything leading up to the fact that you got grabbed in the first place.
Well, forget about, right? I mean, yeah, like these people think like, and again, like you're handing him your wrist, you think like these people, appear out of a puff of smoke and come out. And this is the other problem that we have with this. And again, I don't want to completely shit on it, because I don't know, I can't, like, we're taking a technique out of context, right? So I don't know what intro he has with this, if he does any spatial awareness.
True. Yeah. This is a preview clip. That's fair.
Right. So, I mean, if you're doing these preview clips, you should probably preface it with like, if you make the mistake of letting somebody get into your personal space, right? So, hopefully, and then, you spend 5 seconds on that, 10 seconds on that, and then you can go into this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we don't really want to take it out of, context, but, other than maybe a child, other than a man grabbing a woman to move her, no man is going to ever grab a man like this unless you've got a firearm and you're reaching for your holster and you're doing that. And then again, guess what, kids? You do the same damn thing anyway. Just start smashing him in the head as hard as you freaking can, and then draw your weapon and do what you feel is legally, morally justified. So, yeah, but again, we fight this stuff all the time. I mean, this is like perpetuating the crap that when you argue with people, well, people, are like, oh, this is crap. This is it. I'm like, this is because this is what they do. Yeah. This is what people teach, and this is what gets perpetuated. And this is what's wrong with all of this stuff. Yeah. And even a guy who spent all his time, I'd be more happy if he went into like a flying armbar. Right? I mean, at least I'd be like, all right, that's a little over the top, and there's like a handful of people that are going to actually freaking attempt that, and probably not a great idea, but at least it would make more sense than me seeing this. Is like him, like he might as well get into a crane stance, like I'm fucking waiting for the karate, like the Karate Kid stuff.
Yeah, it would have been way, oh man,
yeah,
I know this drives you at least as crazy as it does me. So yeah, we don't need to talk about this too much, but right. You're right. It perpetuates the crap, because again, you have somebody like GSP who would never actually do this.
Never.
Teaching something that he would never actually do, versus if he just said, hey, in my 20 years of experience, duking it out with people, this is what I've learned works. Guess what? Right. If somebody enters your space or gets you, if somebody grabs your wrist, that's essentially a clinch. And right. When somebody gets in close and clinches you, you start throwing body shots. You know what I mean? Like
right. Something.
Right? You've been like, hey, that makes sense. I can see where he's going with that.
Yeah. But this is just like, I was freaking so disappointed and shocked. It really was. I mean, that was like, that blew my mind. Because that's the last thing I expected to see.